What is up, guys? Welcome back. It is July 13th. This is the channel where we go over a bit of crypto news in 5 charts every day. Today we'll be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, AXS, Atom, and SNX. And as always, if you're just here for a specific chart, timestamps are down in the description below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that bell on to get notifications for all daily uploads. The market is looking red today, guys, and if you're not new here, you are not shocked. We've been talking about this all week long. Ethereum even hitting one of our price targets this morning of just under $2,000. Bitcoin dipping to the low 32,000s, pushing back up slowly now. We may see a bit of a pump or consolidation, but overall the market is stuck in a downtrend. Another project I've been following all week long, up around 20% in the last 24 hours, Axie Infinity, AXS. I did tweet about it last night. If you guys are following me, Kevin Crates _. I personally had to jump in over the last few days at some of my higher price targets with Axie. I was hoping for a larger pullback, but that did not look like it was going to happen. I am involved in a lot of other smaller, similar NFT-like plays, which we're going to be doing a lot of videos on here in the coming days. So make sure to keep your eye out for those videos and keep that bell on so you get the notification. And lastly on this overview, Harmony One having another great day today. I'm not sure what has been driving this Harmony One pump this week, but we will 100% be diving into its chart tomorrow because with the state of the market, we need to keep our eye on anything that's moving independently from the market, and Harmony One is doing just that. So you guys can look forward to that in the video tomorrow. Jumping over to some quick headlines now, Binance announced partnership with Crypto Universe to give users real-time mining data. The article quotes miners that team up by a certain amount of hash rate together, which is maintained by Crypto Universe specialists. The mining power purchase produces rewards every day, which are then shared by everyone in the mining pool in proportion to the individual amounts of the hash rate purchased. And if you didn't understand a word of that, you're going to love this next part. The contracts are being offered on a perpetual basis, meaning that once purchased, they will continue to be valid until either the equipment is no longer functional or the mining ceases to be profitable. However, these contracts are resellable, so users can sell them to other miners whenever they want to. And to simplify this article for you guys, all it's really saying is that Binance just keeps expanding what Binance is. And in terms of regulations and crackdowns, these are just small speed bumps in the massive empire that Binance is attempting to build. But we do have this article here. This crypto exchange may soon overtake Binance. Here is why, and is referring to FTX, which we spoke a little bit about yesterday. FTX has signed several sponsorship deals with MLB sports clubs, football arenas, and even Tom Brady himself, who acts as the exchange's international ambassador. The article quotes, as Binance's regulatory dilemma intensifies, the likes of FTX continue to play by the rules and achieve slow but steady success that could eventually help it surpass Binance to become the leading crypto exchange of choice. Now, I don't personally know how close FTX could come to surpassing Binance. I think that is quite the mountain to climb considering the empire that Binance is attempting to build. However, FTX has locked in some huge sponsorships, and as more regulations come down on Binance, FTX being an extremely dominant player in the game could catch up, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. We had this article this morning, Bitcoin awareness among El Salvador citizens and businesses is close to zero. El Salvador's population has shown zero Bitcoin awareness, while Mexico and Brazil look more promising for Bitcoin. I just want to touch on this because we have spoken many times on this channel about not getting overly bullish about countries adopting Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies as legal tender. Not only is there a massive hurdle on a global scale as far as that goes, there is also the challenge of getting these populations more involved and more interested in cryptocurrency. It's not that I don't think it's headed there, it's that I think this is a slow road. So as far as these headlines go, they're great, but we have to keep in mind there are many challenges along the way. Samsung in the news, why we invested in Nifty is the world's first social NFT platform. We spoke a bit about Nifty's yesterday. It's a new social media NFT platform with huge backings such as Warner Brothers, Mark Cuban, and now you can see Samsung is also involved. And this is not the first time we're seeing names like Mark Cuban and Samsung get involved behind NFT projects. We have this old article here. Samsung invests in the NFT art market, super rare. And like I keep saying, guys, NFTs are the front door for mass adoption into the crypto space, and we've seen that all year long, and we are seeing it every day with Axie Infinity and projects like this. If you haven't had a chance to check out the Nifty's website, it's just nifties.com. If you guys want to follow me, I did make an account. It's Kevin Crates. I don't know how much I'll be posting on there, but it is always good to get involved in these projects. They were actually giving out free Space Jam NFTs yesterday. They gave out around 91,000 free NFTs to promote the new Space Jam movie. And if you come down here, you can see that some of these NFTs were legendary, epic, and rare. I personally got a common one, is what it is, but it is always fun to get free NFTs. And if you look at this video here, you can take a look at one of the legendary cards that some people did get. And I imagine in the coming years, this is going to be worth a lot of money. This last article here, Las Vegas Strip Club now accepting Bitcoin. If we jump over to this article, Crazy Horse 3 has become the first major entertainment venue in Las Vegas to accept Bitcoin using the Lightning Network. And this is huge for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies because this is one of the first major venues, not to mention a strip club in Las Vegas, accepting Bitcoin. And it will be very interesting to see if any other venues follow going forward. Looking at Bitcoin's daily chart, my price target is still 30K or below, but I don't think this is going to be the dump just yet. I think we will see a bit of a push, or we may just continue to consolidate in this range. The daily stochastic RSI does have support. The RSI is also pressing deep into this uptrend, which may be invalidated in the coming days, but for the time being, I think we will see it press back up. And if we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see here that the stochastic RSI is also extremely low, as well as the RSI, and it wants to curve upwards. And if we zoom in just a bit, you can see that there is a decent wick on all these candles up from the support around 32K. So I don't think it's going to punch through to the bottom end just yet. I think there will be a bit of consolidation in this range before it works its way down to 30K. Unless some kind of catalyst comes in, it's really got to get above 35.2 to even be remotely bullish up here. It would cross over the 200 EMA on the 4-hour, but I don't think that's going to happen. My price targets are still low for Bitcoin. Let's just take a quick look at the Ichimoku cloud. Looking at the daily here, we can see that the baseline is above the conversion line, but it is trying to cross through. The lagging span is down here. We may see a bit of a push, let me turn these price targets back on. We may see a bit of a push towards maybe on this end around 34.7 in the coming days, but because of that RSI squeeze that is coming up that we've been keeping an eye on, it's most likely going to start to push down, but there's still so much resistance up ahead. Let's just look at the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour, it is kind of riding against the support, trying to reclaim it around 32.5. I just think the stochastic RSI and everything is too low. I think it's still too early for this dump, but these downward motions that we are seeing are just indications of where price is headed, in my opinion. And as soon as 32 is lost here, you can see that is going to be in a major support. And if 32 is lost, I would not expect 31. There is a bit of support in the past on 31, but you can see here it kind of is a clean break. If it does want to go down, there's a bit of support around right here for 31, but I don't think that's going to be enough to hold on. I think 30K will be tested, and I think considering that wick down that I keep saying is something we all have to keep in mind, prices could wick down. But on the weekly, I have pointed out many times that let me just turn all these price targets off. We are running into the Kumo cloud on the weekly, and this setup looks bearish. Baseline is above, conversion line is below, and the lagging span is about to come through. We may see a bit of a dip here around 28 would be my target, and we may see it jump up from there. But this looks bearish, guys. I would kind of prep for a 30K drop, potentially even 28K, but it will run into support around there, and how high it springs up we'll have to watch for. But my price targets for Bitcoin for the time being are going to be around 30K and potentially even 28K if it goes lower. Looking at Ethereum's daily chart, we're not going to spend too much time on Ethereum. As you can see here, our price target for Ethereum, number 1, was hit. It is almost definitely headed to price target number 2 around 1700, but it all depends on Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin consolidates, we should see prices push up. Just like Bitcoin, stochastic RSI is low. RSI is way low, and that's on the 4-hour. On the hourly, it still has room to drop, but overall, it all depends on Bitcoin. And since it is going in a downward motion, my price target number 1 for Ethereum has now been hit, and that's done. Ethereum, in my opinion, is headed to 1700. Let's just take a quick look at the Ichimoku cloud. Looking at Ethereum's daily chart, let's jump to the 4-hour, turn my notes on from yesterday. Sorry about the mess, guys, but this is why we're not spending too much time on Ethereum. Ethereum's price target number 1 has now been hit, and it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before it reaches around 1725. If anything changes with Bitcoin, if it can manage to get back above 2100, things could turn bullish. But in my opinion, Ethereum, pretty simple. It's headed down to around 1725 in the short term. Where it goes after that all depends on how deep Bitcoin dips. Looking at AXS on the daily, let's turn the notes on from before. AXS looks amazing. We see some of these old targets that we were hoping to get hit, and they did, but I was hoping it would come much lower, and it did not, so I did have to jump in a little higher than I wanted to. But AXS, in my opinion, looks amazing. Look at this RSI, sky high in uptrend zone. The stochastic RSI is a bit high on the daily. If we jump to the 4 hour, it does have a bit of room left to pump today. I think this pump today could get to about 23, where I think it would start to consolidate in this area. We may see some dips down into this area around 20. But what is going on with AXS? Let's take a quick look at the Ichimoku chart. If we look at AXS's Ichimoku on the daily, it looks amazing. This is a chart on a bull run, way above the Kumo cloud, conversion line, baseline, lagging span, everywhere that it should be. Let's turn the notes on from before. We could at the very most see a pullback to this range, but I imagine as it keeps pushing up, this range would come up more around 16. I would be very shocked to see it go back down there, because if we look at the 4 hour chart, this is a very healthy looking chart on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour. And you guys have to keep in mind, this is a token with utility, and that is why it is moving autonomously from the market. People who are buying AXS are playing the game. They don't care about crypto. That isn't, I mean, they do, but their focus isn't about which blockchain is going to win. They just need AXS to keep playing the game. And that is why I'm saying NFT games like this are going to continue to pump. As far as a pullback, I would be shocked to see it drop below 19.5. If it does go below there, I mean, maybe around 17, but in my opinion, this is going to keep pumping, and we're just going to have to keep a close eye on it. I was following this downtrend on the 4 hour on the RSI, and I want you guys to take a look at this right here. You see this punch through right here, and if you track it right to the chart, that's where it just punched through last night, which is why, in my opinion, this is going for another push up in the RSI in this direction. So this could keep going, and we're going to keep a very close eye here and on Twitter on AXS. Looking at ATOM Cosmos, the daily chart, this is a very interesting looking chart for a few reasons. Yes, it is running into resistance around the 200 EMA around 14. If it manages to get above there, it could push for 17. I think that's unlikely with everything going on in the market. However, you got to keep in mind that after every crash, Atom has jumped around 100%. So there is a lot of buying pressure. And if you look at the RSI again, this is uptrend zone. So this is interesting. I would put my price targets for Atom around $10 to $8. I imagine that it's going to crash around here if Bitcoin crashes and kind of hang in this range before having another spike up to maybe $10. I'd be shocked to see it go to $6 if there's a major crash. That is possible. But Atom is a chart that wants to be bullish, but Bitcoin is not letting it. Let's take a quick look at the Ichimoku chart. The Ichimoku chart on Atom is also extremely interesting. Look how it pushed into the cloud here. Let me just turn my notes on, trying to get bullish, running into resistance around 14. On the upper end, it could push towards 20, which is really around 17. I'd imagine it would lose steam, but Atom is looking decent. It may pull back to about 11.1, looks like is where it's headed at the moment. But with everything going on in the market, if we look at the 4 hour chart, you see the same price targets. I would imagine somewhere between $10 to $8 makes sense. This is where it will most likely land in the event of a crash. So somewhere within that range of $8 to $10 would be my price targets for Atom. SNX's daily chart. We've pretty much been following this chart every day lately. I'm very bullish on SNX in the coming weeks. You can see the RSI is still an uptrend zone, but it is trending down. There is a bit of an uptrend that might catch it, but overall, the stochastic RSI is high. It still has room to pump. I think we're going to see a bit of consolidation in this range. It might dip a little lower, but I'm still very bullish in the coming weeks on SNX. I think these price targets of 15 to 18 are very possible in the coming weeks. Let's take a quick look at the Ichimoku chart. SNX on the daily, you can see it did push into the Kumo cloud, but it is getting pushed back down just like Atom. Let's look at the 4 hour chart and turn on my notes from yesterday. So you can see my first price target was hit. Let's just move it a little bit lower. It did go to about 10.7. It's building support above the Kumo cloud, but if Bitcoin dips, if the market pulls back, we have to be prepared for these lower price targets. My initial price target for SNX is still around 15 to somewhere around 18, 19, but it all depends around how Bitcoin lets the market run. So we always have to be prepared for a pullback to around 9.5, 8.5, but overall still very bullish on SNX, and I could see it hitting at least 15.7 in the coming weeks. All right, that's all for today, folks. If there's any charts you want me to look at in the future, leave it down in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, turn that bell on so you get those notifications. If you're not following me on Twitter, KevinCrates_ on Twitter. If you tweet at me, I will always tweet back at you. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'm out.